Hi everybody, my name is Said Harshi, and I will be walking you through our final pseudocode for the program that we have refactored. So our final pseudocode for the Java application number to words looks as follows. First, we need to import a Java uh, .util.star package to be able to use the class scanner features. Then we declare next the class number to words, and we needed to create three types of strings, three different strings that would be beholders for our values. So the first array string that holds the numbers from between 1 and 19. The second one would be holding the tens places, and the third one would be creating the places for the maximum value of long. And as my colleague explained before, uh, where our maximum value would be 2 billion. Then we needed to include a method, word-defined number, which converts numbers into words. Under this method, we create a new object of class string builder, and then we write an if statement to display the value 0. Then write another if statement that appends the word negative to numbers, because our application doesn't include only positive numbers but also takes into consideration negative values. So as we will show you later, you would see that if you enter actually a negative number, the application is able to print out the equivalent with the negative value appended to the words. Uh, we had to include also a logarithm expression that keeps track of the thousands position the application is at, and it's a very important feature of the program. We will have a look at that later in the application. Another method that needed to be included converts the numbers into hundreds. Under this method, we will see that we have a control statement that handles the hundreds, then another control statement that handles the ones, the tens, sorry, and then another control statement that handles the place of the ones. Of course, we have our main method that comes to close the application, and then of course it's the one that runs everything. So we created a scanner object under main so as to be able to accept input from the user. We also included a while loop that controls the user's input. It displays a message, enter number or -1 to terminate entry. Then we had to include another line, write code, another line of code to accept input from the user, as I've mentioned, and then display the message done when the user enters the value -1. Then, of course, to display the number entered in words, which is the whole purpose of the whole application. Of course, to do that, the method println from class scanner receives the method word-defined number as its arguments. Here we come to the end of our pseudocode, and now let's have a look at our application and see how this all these steps in the pseudocode got translated into Java code. So this is the translation of our pseudocode into Java code. So of course you have the introduction, final project for Java Foundation for SCIS 601. Then, as I explained in the pseudocode, we import the java.util.star package to be able to use the utilities of this very useful package. And we declare, of course, our class. Then these are the three strings we talked about. So the first one is called units, and it holds the values between 1 and 19. The second array holds, it's called tens, and it holds the values between 10 and 90. Then the next one, called thousands, defines our maximum value that goes up to billion. Next, as you can see, we have our method, word defined number that receives as argument long number. Uh, and the reason to use long, because as we said, we're going to go up to 1 billion, so it has to have enough space. It has to be able to print like multiple digits. This is the expression that creates the new object of the class string builder, and it's got an empty argument. Then we have our if statement that controls the display of the value 0, because we have negative values and positive values. So here, the next line of code, if the value is negative, then you append the method append from the class string builder appends the negative before the words that are displayed, and this is the method that does it, because we took into consideration not only positive values but also negative ones. This is the logarithm expression that we talked about in the pseudocode that controls or keeps track of which thousandth position the application is at. We initialize the subset to number, then we declare an integer I initialized to the value 7. Then we have our auto control statement, our do the following. Okay, so the sub equals the result of the division of number on log, and this is actually the subset between 1 and 999. The next line of code, number receives, so as to cut down the value, so as to keep moving all the way along this expression, the thousandth positions, the different thousandth positions. So we cut down how number receives the value or the remainder of the division of number on log. Then we cut down again for the next loop, and log this time receives the result of the division of log on 1000, and we keep decrementing, as you can see here, I minus minus. So this basically next line of code just says if the value is different from is not different from 0, then skip, go to the next line of code. The next line of code, again, we have our subset dot append, and the method append receives as its argument the hundreds in words method that we'll see later, which in turn receives also integer and sub as its argument. Sorry about that. So this basically appends just more space, and we'll see a lot of them coming up, just to add more space. Then again, we have subset.append that receives as its argument our array thousands, which receives as its argument the integer 7 that we introduced earlier. Here, as I explained before, it adds basically more space. So if number is different from 0, then just append space basically. Our other while control statement says if the number entered is different from 0, then return, and how you're going to return that is by using the toString, the famous toString that we've seen in class. So this is the end of method word defined number. The next method is hundreds in words, and it receives as argument or parameter like integer number. This is the expression that creates, again, a new object of the class string builder. This expression handles the hundreds, and as you can see, again, units, our array that receives as its argument this expression, then append 100. And number equals, of course, as we explained earlier, the result or the remainder of the division of number by 100. Here again we append some space. If number is different from 0, then append. And as you can see, and you can basically follow our comments, we made it a case actually to introduce as many comments as possible to make our application easily navigable and easily understandable. Sorry about this pop-up, it keeps popping up, I don't know, for some reason. Okay, so the next line of code handles the tens, and as you can see, we have an if statement. If number is superior to 19, then do this, and again our array and the argument in this expression is received by our array tens. And of course, it's divisible. It's a number receives the result of number divided by 10. Append again space, and then this handles the ones. So if number is superior to 0, then do this basically, and then return again the same expression that returns the string. This is our main, and it contains the creation of a new object, or the object scanner of the class scanner, to be able to accept input from the user. We use this loop while that we talked about in the pseudocode so as to be able to print out different messages depending on what the user enters. So if the user enters a negative value or a positive value, it would be able to display number equals. Otherwise, if the user enters the Sentinel literal value -1, you simply quit the program. And of course, this famous expression that accepts the input from the user. Then to do that, to be able to do that, system.out.println receives as its argument the famous wordify number method that we explained earlier. So now we come to the end of our application, and I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Abdullah to be able to do some live demonstrations of all the capabilities of our application. Thank you very much.